If you're walking through this journey with your child, there are moments where you can feel it, that this isn't just behavior, but it's something deeper going on. And I want to talk about that today, but in a way that brings clarity and not fear. Because when people hear spiritual warfare, it can go one of two ways. Either everything becomes so spiritual or nothing does, and neither one's helpful. So I want to walk you through this in a way that's grounded and something you can actually live out, not just something that sounds intense. So let's start here. Your child is not your enemy. I want you to hold on to that because when things get hard and conversations go wrong, when behavior doesn't make sense, it can start to feel personal. But Ephesians 6 and 12 says, we do not wrestle against flesh and blood. That means the battle is not against your child. So instead of reacting to them, we begin to learn how to discern what may be influencing them and how to respond differently. And this is where I want to give you something simple to hold on to, a way to walk this thing out in real life. Not complicated, not overwhelming, just something steady. For one, you have to discern what's really going on before you respond, before you react, before you assume. Pause and ask, God, what's really going on here? Because not everything is just attitude. Not everything is something deeper either. But there are times where you'll notice patterns that keep repeating itself. Strong resistance to truth or accountability, choices that seem self destructive, or a shift that doesn't quite make sense. And instead of labeling it, you stay in the posture of God, show me how to pray. Not, not what's wrong with them, but how do I need to respond? Then you have to align your heart before you pray. This is where most people want to skip ahead because this part matters more than we realize it. Before going to God about your child, let Him check you. Not in a heavy way, but in an honest way. You might ask, am I carrying fear right now? Am I holding on to offense? Am I trying to control this? Because if those things are sitting in your heart, they will affect how you pray and how you respond. Remember Psalm 139 says, search me, O God. That's not weakness, that's alignment. And this is also where we become aware of anything that we need to release, such as unforgiveness, fear based thinking, or words we've been speaking that don't align. Not to create pressure, but to bring clarity. Because James 5 and 16 says, the prayer of a righteous person is powerful. That's not about perfection, it's about being in right standing. Then we have to pray from authority and not fear. Now, this is where things begin to shift. As a parent and as an intercessor, you are not called to come to God begging. You are invited to come boldly. Hebrews 4 and 16 said, let us come boldly to the throne of grace. That means you're not wondering if He hears you. You're not hoping if you have access. You know. So instead of God, please fix this, you begin to pray, God, I trust you with this. Work in ways I cannot see. You begin to pray truth. You begin to stand on scripture. Lord, draw them back to you. Open their eyes. Bring them to themselves. You're not trying to force an outcome. You're partnering with God. Then you have to stand without going back into fear. And this is where it becomes real. Because you can pray, and then 5 minutes later, something happens, and you feel that pull again. The pull to react, to step in, to say something. And this is where you remind yourself, I've already brought this to God. Not in a dismissive way, but in a grounded way. Ephesians 6 talks about standing, not running back and forth, not picking it up again in fear, but standing. And sometimes standing looks like saying less, trusting more, holding your peace, even when things don't look different yet. Now, I want to bring this all together. Spiritual warfare in this journey is not about intensity. It's not about doing more. It's not about becoming hyper focused on everything being spiritual. It's about being aware, being aligned, praying with confidence, and staying consistent and steady. So here's what I want you to hold on to. You don't have to figure everything out. You don't have to label everything either. You just have to stay connected to God and respond from that place. So the next time something happens, instead of immediately reacting, walk yourself through this. God, show me what's really going on. Align my heart. Help me to pray for truth. Help me to stand in what I've already given to you. And just take it one moment at a time. Because you're not just trying to get through this, you're learning how to walk through it with clarity, steadiness, and trust.